And we're here live with our Super Bumper Edition review show, part 1 of 2 coming today, as I'll be talking about the recent WxW World Tag Team Festivals, the Femme Fatale show, as well as night 1, night 2, and night 3 of this incredible show I went to in Germany. Big Daddy Dan here will be telling us all about the 1PW New Twist of Fate show. I know he had a great time. And then later today, we will be doing, as I say, night 2 and night 3 of the World Tag Team Festival, as well as Mark and Kieran talking about the recent New Japan Royal Quest shows. How are you, Dan? How are you today?
I am very good, thank you. I am looking forward to going to another show later this evening. I'm off to see UBW later on. So that'll be great fun. I've had a good weekend of wrestling last weekend. And how was your trip back from Germany?
Hell. Traveling is a dick, and the UK absolutely sucks at travel. It really, really does. When I was out in Germany, every train was 5 minutes early and literally left dot on the line. I had an easier job navigating my way from Cologne to Oberhausen and Oberhausen back to Cologne than I did traveling back to the UK from Manchester all the way over back to Middlesbrough and eventually to Moss by the Sea. But how was your 1PW, your trip to Doncaster?
The trip there was fine. We arrived, myself and my wife, and we went along and found the most amazing burger place. Urban Burgers. If you're in Doncaster, go to Urban Burgers. We went to the press conference. Actually, I'm going to give the whole story. We arrived and were given media passes. We sat down and followed where we were told to go, and it turned out that we were in the production meeting because we were told that we had media passes to go along there. So we went along at the beginning of the production meeting, then went along and did the press conference. We asked a number of questions. Amy asked a really good one of Callum Newman, Scotty Rourke, and Nathan Cruz, asking about how it was being the kids watching the wrestling to being the wrestlers being watched by the kids. And Callum Newman and Scotty Rourke were like, this is so weird because we're just there. And Nathan Cruz was like, it's 16 years ago and it's a completely different experience now. And it was just, it was a case of WWE is now what people think of as the wrestling. It has become, it is the wrestling in the same way that Bic is a biro, or the way that sellotape is sellotape. WWF is the wrestling. So it's very different being a wrestler now. So we did that. And then there was issues about whether we had the right passes. And then there was a lot of negativity I'm not going to go into. We managed to get passes to get in to watch the show, because to start with, it looked like we weren't actually going to get in to see the show. I have nothing but good things to say about 99% of the production crew. And then we went into the show itself. The show itself started at...
So I'm going to stop you. I'm going to let you do your show review in just a second. We'll get into it. Obviously, what we're going to do today for these, I'm going to do Femme Fatale first. You're going to do 1PW New Twist of Fate. I will be then doing the night 1 of WxW Academy, so we can keep it nice and mixed up and make sure people watch the entire video to see it all and to hear all about everything this weekend. We're going to try and keep it brief. We're hoping to only be here for an hour. Now, of course, we are Tea and Tights, the Great British Wrestling podcast for Great British Wrestling, as featured on Body Slam Net, and, of course, the Genres Podcasting Network. And as I say, WxW, what a weekend. The whole weekend itself, I cannot say enough good things about. it was amazing. I got treated to a media lunch by the guys at WxW, which was fantastic. I had this awesome thing called a curryverse sausage, which is basically a nice sausage covered in curry sauce and chips. That was absolutely lovely. The pizza place near us was really, really nice. And so every pretty much 2 of the nights we were there, back to our hotel, we ordered live and got the pizza going. But anyway, I think it is really time to talk about the shows themselves. So my weekend, of course, it kicked off with the WxW festival. The Femme Fatale was the first show on the card, and I've lost all my notes suddenly. Bear with me while I riff a bit more about how good pizza was.
What
and
about the
how
hotel?
the hotel, oh my God, one of the best hotels I've ever stayed in. So if you ever deciding to make the trip to Oberhausen to check out WxW, I really recommend the Art Hotel Anna, ANA, Soul and Living. My room was huge. I had a cooker, a microwave, fridge. There was also a communal kitchen where, again, there was more cooking equipment for people to use. And there was just so much to do. Really, really so much to do in the hotel itself. There was a Scalextrics track in the lobby. There was, table tennis, foosball, pool. It was all available at the hotel. And so, yes, and my shower was this massive walk-in shower, which was just absolutely brilliant. It even had a little seat. So I was able to take when I was tired, I was able to still take my shower while tired, while sat down, just chilling. And then my hotel in Cologne is one of the most niche setups. It's really beautiful. It really is, right on the airport, and there's a terrace for you to be able to enjoy your drinks out on the balcony on the terrace, watching the planes go by. And again, they were just fantastic. I had a giant TV in the room. Oh God, I can't find my notes. And the TV itself could connect to all of your devices. So you could set up. I ended up watching Progress on my big ass TV. So I was super happy with that. And again, the walk-in shower was absolutely astounding. I have finally found my notes again. So here we go. So the show kicked off Femme Fatale's night one, and it opened up with Killer Kelly making her return to WxW, her home promotion, where she originally made her name for herself on the European wrestling scene before making moves into the UK, and now, of course, as an Impact knockout. And she took on a young Bulgarian Iva Kolosky, who I've talked about on the show before. She's extremely athletic, extremely agile. She's got some excellent moonsaults and flips to her. And the two girls absolutely smashed it. It was a great opening match. Kelly, of course, with the strikes, and Iva's athleticism. Eventually, it was Killer Kelly who would move on in the tournament. The next up was Orsi, another Bulgarian coming out of the coming out of the Hungarian wrestling scene right now. That is terrible. And I should show off my new merch, actually. Peter Tahani, one of the top Bulgarian guys. It's a Rick and Morty inspired top. And here we have Gulyas, the bull of the village. And I've been wanting to get one of these for ages. WxW, we love wrestling, hate racism. And I got gifted this t-shirt by the big bag kaiju O'Shea Edwards after I posted a top about my somewhat worn out hoodie for him. And he replaced free of charge.
That was brilliant. That was really good of him.
It was absolutely fantastic. I can't be more grateful than what I am for everything that they did. But yeah, as I say, Orsi versus Anastasia Bardot, young lady coming out of France, I believe. She's got a good bit of size to her. This was a hoss fight for the girls because Orsi is a very powerful young lady, and Anastasia is a bigger lady, and they had a great hoss match. Anastasia Bardot went through. This was the first shock to me. I had tipped Orsi to move on to the semi-finals. I was incorrect on this one. I was correct on the first one. Then it was the Scandinavian Dragon, Alice Inc., and she took on Nicole Foxley. Great matchup for Alice Inc. She really got to show what she could do. She absolutely littered Nicole Foxley with kicks and strikes and picked up the victory, and it was very, very impressive. What I thought was the best first round match went to Masha Slamovich, who just took on Jordan Grace last night on Impact. I'm not sure how she got on, but I know she was facing Jordan Grace over on Bound for Glory. And she was facing Ava Everett. And for me, this was probably the match of round one. These two women absolutely put on a fantastic clinic. And it was great to see a great match, another one. It was then on to an international three-way triple threat match, which featured Maria de la Rosa from Spain, Shazza McKenzie, I think he's Australian, I know, and then Michelle Green, who is from Switzerland. Excellent triple threat. I have become a huge fan of Maria de la Rosa. I think she is a phenomenal young talent. British wrestling promoters, get on that. She will be an excellent addition to any women's roster in the UK, as would Michelle Green here coming out of Switzerland. She's already made moves in the US, and she has been doing really well for herself. She is the new Swiss sensation, of course, Claudio Castagnoli being the original. But great match. Really loved this. And Michelle Green came away with the win. Big win for the young Swiss. It was the first semi-final match, and it was Alice Inc. versus Killer Kelly. Now, this wasn't as good as I was hoping it was going to be. I was expecting to really get into this one, but it just didn't quite click in places for it to really be a fantastic match. But they really did, put a lot of effort into it. I think they tried to do some semi-shoot bits that didn't really quite work as well as they might have intended. But overall, it was a good win for Alice Inc., which was, to my surprise, that Alice Inc. defeated Killer Kelly, who I had picked to win the tournament. So a huge win for Alice Inc. Really puts her over. Then, of course, it was the second semi-final, Anastasia Bardot versus Masha Slamovich. Again, fantastic. Masha Slamovich is so good. Like, so good. She is one of the best women wrestlers in all over the world right now. I do believe she is working with Impact as well. Yes, she was on Bound for Glory, but she's been killing on the independent scene for quite some time. And I know WxW Germany have been looking to add her to the team for a long while. This was another fantastic match. Anastasia Bardot, due to her size, due to her strength, really put on a great challenge for Masha to overcome. And of course, Masha eventually did get the win in a very hard-fought match. So it will be Masha Slamovich and Alice Inc. in the final. Then we had the women's championship match. The returning Amal, as she faced off against fellow challenger Calypso, who is the lady with three faces, and she is another French competitor along with Amal. The witch bitch of pro wrestling, and Baby Allison, of course. What an entrance. She always makes an impact. She has such a unique look, especially in the WxW world. She is a very powerful young lady as well, very flexible as well. Great little match. Baby Allison managed to come away with the win. I was expecting Amal to become the new champion. Not the case on this one. A great win for Baby Allison over two very, very tough and game opponents. Then it was the final itself. Alice Inc. versus Masha Slamovich. This was good. This was very, very good. Like, really, really, really very good. It was just another fantastic match. Each of these women, they continue to grow each and every match as well, which is the best thing about this. And eventually, Alice Inc. picked up the victory again. Was not expecting it. Really expected it to go down to Masha Slamovich picking up the win. But, so it is. Alice Inc., the Scandinavian Dragon, the leader of the she has been killing it over on, throughout Denmark, Sweden, and it's so awesome to see her really start to pick up this recognition now. And, I can't fault any of these. These were just brilliant. If WxW Germany can really, because, I have said it, that sometimes WxW's women's division has seemed very lackluster. And if they can incorporate a lot of the women that they were using for this Femme Fatales, they have a really good backbone for a really strong women's roster. And that's great to see. The other thing that was amazing to see was the amount of international talent, French, Hungarian, Swiss, Australian, German.
How many people do you reckon were there?
The Femme Fatale show itself, hard to judge. I'd like to say there was around 200, well over 200, probably close to 300 people there. The stands with obviously the merchandise were always busy. So yeah, I'd happily say somewhere between 200 to 300 women, people were in that, enjoying the Femme Fatales. And as I say, the final match, the Masha Slamovich versus Alice Inc., drew up everybody from their seats to give them a round of applause, and it was amazing to see. As I say, Alice Inc. right now, she is so good, so still fresh. She's going to be a great champion for hopefully a long period to really help establish this new look WxW's women roster. All power to her, all power to all the women that were on this show, because, where one may have had one bad match, they really all carried themselves with so much. It's just great to see. And I would give this, the Femme Fatale show by itself, my 3.5 sugar rating.
Nice.
Right, Dan, would you like to tell us about the 1PW from Twist of Fate?
Well, we had some great production videos to start with. Well, the first match was Robbie X versus Ace Austin. Unfortunately, there was a little snafu because AC Matthews' music and video played for Ace Austin, so he didn't end up having his entrance. This match was fantastic. Robbie X, everybody knows in the UK, everyone who listens to us knows how good Robbie X is. And Ace Austin is just as good. They went move for move, beautiful exchanges, speed, out of the ring, in the ring. It was just absolutely brilliant. Let's hope this match gets seen internationally, gets seen by Impact, and Robbie X gets the step up he deserves to go international. Robbie X won. It was very good. We then had a video with Team Shag. Gotta love a bit of Team Shag. Burridge and Colt Cabana. They have been living in Dunkin' Donuts in Doncaster for the last 17 years. They've been living in Dunkin' Donuts and working in Dunkin' Donuts. And they saw an advert for the wrestling coming back, and their manager gave them the day off so that they could go to the wrestling show.
Of course.
Which was nice. Then there was some weird, shaky video things, and Rory Coyle appeared in a video, sort of showing the Dunkin' Donuts stuff, but a bit creepy as well. It was odd. We then had the MLW title match, Nathan Cruz with Matt Myers versus Alexander Hammerstone. Hammerstone, this is the match that I said that I wasn't that excited for. really enjoyed it. Really, really good match. Matt Myers gave Nathan Cruz a full introduction and then was the heel outside attacking Hammerstone as he was going through. There was what appeared to be a title change with Nathan Cruz managing to pin Hammerstone, but Hammerstone had managed to escape from it. And then there was a belt hit, a hidden belt. And luckily, Hammerstone won and is still the champion. But because of all these shenanigans, you're looking at the real deal now. Out comes D'Lo Brown. And D'Lo is there. He is the voice of the 1PW officials. And he makes sure that the match has been restarted and goes through properly. And we have a wonderful win for Alexander Hammerstone, who was very over with the crowd. We then had a video into play with Tonga, pointing out that she'd been advertised for this show when it first came out. She's one of the first people who'd been said was going to be part of the show, but doesn't even have a match tonight. And she was not happy. And we then had Jamie Hayter versus Session Moth Martina. Jamie Hayter was over like Rover. Session Moth got a massive intro with her brilliant music, and she had 7 or 8 people come out dressed as her, dancing in the ring, drinking beer. Huge, huge intro for her. And they had a great match. Jamie Hayter's fantastic. Session Moth, really good, solid. It was a good match. Really enjoyed it. We then have Nick Aldis and Doug Williams. The British Invasion come out. And so did Team Shag. Burridge sings his way into the ring. They are so over. It's hysterical. Greg Burridge is so funny. He was brilliant. He was on the mic. Colt Cabana is loved by 1PW crowd, and deservedly so. He was really funny as well. Colt demanded that they have a dance-off in memory of Tracy Smothers, as he was a regular at 1PW. The British Invasion don't dance. So they got Colt and Greg to dance against each other, which was very good fun. After the match, during the match, the British Invasion, as you'd expect, completely isolated the ring. Brilliant. Doug Williams is fantastic. Nick Aldis looked really, really good in this. The crowd were completely behind Team Shag. British Invasion were getting booed. And in the end, Greg Burridge got the pinfall. After the match, he did a promo video and he did a promo saying how much he loved 1PW. And he did get Disco Doug to do his dancing. And he did get Naughty Nick to do his dancing. So the British Invasion did dance. They then left the ringside area and Colt Cabana did a little bit of a promo. And then out came Rory Coyle. And so did the Killers. And they came to the ring and they did a big thing. Not the Killers, the Damned. They did a big beat down of the good guys. They gave him a total battering, saying that Rory Coyle is now the leader of the Damnation. They beat down Team Shag and left. It was good. We then had the survival of the sickest match. Iceman, Jack and Clint Margera versus Tyler Devlin, Will Cruz and Ulf Herman. Will Cruz stepped in. This was very bloody. There were chair shots, kendo stick shots, there was dustbin lids, there was a bit where Tyler Devlin went up to the balcony. The balcony is a legitimate 25 foot, and he went down through a table, but also through Clint Margera, who was on the table. Clint took a big hit in that, There was then a load of thumbtacks that went onto the ring. Iceman took a big hit into the thumbtacks and was pinned by Ulf. Ulf did his entrance with the fire and was very, very over with the crowd as well. They absolutely loved Ulf. And he picked up the win. At the end, Ulf and Iceman embraced and everybody really applauded. Iceman tried to sing and it went on a little bit too long, bless him. We then had an interval. This was needed because they needed to clear up everything from the ring. Just a little aside, the referee throughout this were James Greenwood and Scott Bell. And as you know, Scott Bell is very good as well, but Greenwood is just such a good referee. Absolutely brilliant. We then had the Fight for the Future scramble match. Callum Newman versus Man Like Doris versus Scotty Rourke versus Luke Jacobs versus Amir Jordan versus Ace Matthews. Ace Matthews came out, nobody knew who he was, and he got battered. We were happy with that. There was then lots and lots of pins, everyone going through, huge amount of crazy moves, absolutely brilliant. Callum Newman was eliminated first. I was sad. Well, he wasn't, he was eliminated second after Ace Matthews. Then Man Like Doris, then Scotty Rourke, then Amir Jordan, leaving Luke Jacobs as your winner of the Fight for the Future. So yeah, he was unexpected and very much appreciated, and the winner. Really, really good match. Mickie James versus Lizzie Evo was next. Little aside, Amy and I were sat up at the back in the stalls with Lizzie Evo's family. There was about a dozen of them there. They love Lizzie, and they were loud. They were very behind Lizzie for this, and it was brilliant to be sat with them. Really good fun, and by the end of this, Lizzie was over with the crowd, which she wasn't really supposed to be, but just she was brilliant. Mickie James is still fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Wasn't showing any ring rust, had a great match with Lizzie Evo. She did come up on top. The crowd, if you end up watching this back, you watch the crowd reactions for Mickie James versus the crowd reactions for Lizzie Evo, and Lizzie Evo was the more over of the two. Absolutely brilliant. Cara Noir versus Christopher Daniels was next. This was the longest match in the show. Christopher Daniels was brilliant. Cara Noir, he really is phenomenal. Cara Noir is just the best. He really, really is. Everybody loved his entrance. Everybody loved what happened. And in the end, Cara Noir got the win. Clean. Christopher Daniels tapped. I was very surprised. It was very, very good. I'm really looking forward to it. It was then announced that Rhino would be at the next 1PW show, along with a number of other wrestlers. Our main event, Mark Haskins with Vicky Haskins versus Rob Van Dam with Katie Forbes. Mark Haskins is brilliant. Mark Haskins is who 1PW needs to be building themselves around. Rob Van Dam did his best, but his best is behind him. Yeah, I know. I know you're not surprised by this. I know. I'm really pleased that I got to see Rob Van Dam live. I'm really pleased I got to sing along to One of a Kind. I'm really pleased for the whole thing. Mark Haskins was wrestling to Rob's pace and style, which he can do, and he could do well. He was the stronger wrestler. Both the wives come into play. Haskins wins. It was very, very good for what it was. It was not a Rob Van Dam match. It was not a Mark Haskins match. But for what it was very, very good. Overall, I would give the show 3 sugars.
Pretty good. No, it's a good score. It's a good score for a good return show. You know, I know a lot of people didn't like how much I criticized 1PW, and if my criticism came off far too negative, I try to keep it back a little bit when I talk about things. But one of the things that I'm happy about hearing when you're talking about the shows in particular is the fact that the UK talent majority went over, and that's good. You need, I think, if you're going to be a UK promotion, your idea should be about bringing the UK guys up. I love the idea of that 6-man match. Guys have all been, some of the best young workers in the business. When we talk about guys like Callum Newman, we talk about the best in the business when we talk about guys like Robbie X, who is, the best unsigned cruiserweight in the world right now. And I heard Luke Jacobs absolutely smashed it and was absolutely over as everything, which is, again, stuff that you love to hear. What came out of it from what I was seeing on Twitter, what I was seeing online, was a lot of positive. And people were psyched for this return. You could see it. Talk about the capacity.
1,500 people, they said, were there. And having seen it, I would say close to 1,500 people were there, definitely. It was full. It was raucous. The security were very adamant about phone use and were going around telling everybody not to use their phones for videoing, and they were quite... There was an 8-year-old boy taking photos, and he was taking photos. They're like, you can't do that. You can't do that. No, he's just taking photos. You can do that. It might have just been the security guard behind us was a bit of a dick. Yeah, it does. But yeah, all in all, very, very good show. Not happy with how certain things went. I personally won't be going to another 1PW show.
There you have it, folks. But we can catch him on Fight TV, and we may follow. We probably will still always follow 1PW and what they are doing.
I wish them all the best. I really do.
Excellent. So there you have it, folks. The 1PW is a mixed bag of reviews, if you like. But let's get back to some WxW, and let's talk about night one, the kickoff of the World Tag Team Festival, the first night of the festival. It was bloody good. It was so good. I honestly can't put over how much I enjoyed being out there, and the fans at all of these shows were absolutely rabid. They were wanting this. Packed houses were much busier than the previous Femme Fatale show, which was an afternoon show, so you maybe see it that way. But the night show was absolutely ram-packed. Every seat in the building full, people standing all around. And by the way, Dave Bradshaw is so good at commentary. When he gets so excited about it, yes, you can actually hear him. I'm not kidding you. You really, really can. He is one of the best. Love Dave Bradshaw. He's definitely. I love the fact that I'm not saying, to be honest, you're like, what was that? Oh yeah, it's Dave Bradshaw. But all I can say is massive, massive, fantastic night once again. The show, it kicked off with Sanity, Eric Young, and Axel Tiska. They took on the CDK Boys, the Calamari Drunken Kings, Masahiro Takanashi, and Chris Brooks. This is the first time I've ever really gotten a good chance to watch Masahiro or Takanashi alongside Chris Brooks. I've seen some of his matches indeed. He is one of the best wrestlers in the world. Top 5, top 10. He is so good. His facial expressions at times are hilarious. Really, really, really hilarious. Like he would get in there and he'd be getting battered by Eric Young, and it'd be just, it's just, he is so much fun to watch, as is, of course, Chris Brooks, who again is just so much fun to watch. And when you watch them together, doing their shtick, doing their things, doing their combinations, they are so freaking amazing. And then of course, on the other side, you got Sanity, you got Tiska, and you've got Eric Young. You had a complete clash of styles because Massa and Brooksy, they're a bit of fun. They're enjoyable, and they like to have fun with what they're doing. Yet that is not Sanity. They are people who just want to kick the crap out of you and watch the world burn or something. That was Sanity, wasn't it? I'm guessing so. Anyway, what a freaking way to get kicked off. It was one of the best tag team matches I've ever managed to see live. And yeah, Chris Brooks and Masahiro, they picked up the win. They got the win in the opening match over Sanity. So yes, that was a bit of a shock. And this first match of the evening, still half the people were off their feet, giving a standing ovation for what was a truly incredible tag team match. Yeah, I think night one has just gone up on WxW now. Femme Fatale went up a couple of days ago, and it's both of these shows I'm talking to you about right now are available on WxW now, and we would recommend that you go see these shows. Whether you wait till they're on the WWE network, that's completely up to you. They will be available on the WWE network, and what I can say is great match, great match. Then we got the introduction of young Peter Tahani. Yes, I finally get to see him live. I know he was in the UK like a few days before I went to this show, but of course I couldn't make those shows because I'd already had everything booked and didn't really have the money spare as I was saving for my Germany trip. He now happens to be my lovely wife's new favorite wrestler. And she really, really, really wants to see a match between Peter Tahani and young Leon Slater, who is her second favorite wrestler. So she wants to see Peter Tahani versus Leon Slater. I would love to see that too. Are you listening, Progress? Are you listening, WxW? North Wrestling as well. Why not? TNT Extreme, get in on the picture. Hey, 1PW, why not? It's really worth it. He is a phenomenal talent. I can't wait to see the matches he's done recently on Progress via the Demand Progress service. So I'm going to be checking out his match against RKJ, and I believe he had a fatal four-way sort of just before this. Now, he was taking on Lawrence Roman, who is a member of the Amboss stable, Robert Dreisker, and the
Your volume's just dropped.
The Arrows of Hungary, and that any better?
That's better.
Yeah. So it was the Arrows of Hungary. Okay. So Amboss are Robert Dreisker, Lawrence Roman, and the Arrows of Hungary, Dover and Icarus. Best way for me to describe Lawrence Roman is he is the Lance Storm of Amboss. He never really, he's a great wrestler, but for some reason his personality doesn't quite always connect with the audience, and this left him kind of in the position he's been in. I've spoken to Robert Dreisker, and you will be able to check out that interview on Monday. Yes, that's right, Monday. Our interview with Robert Dreisker will be dropping, and he talks about Lawrence Roman and how happy he is to have Roman in Amboss because he believes him to be one of the top premier wrestlers in Germany. So there you have it. Peter Tahani picked up the victory here in, just another great Peter Tahani match. You'll have to check out what I have to say about Peter Tahani's match against Speedball Mike Bailey on the part 2, which will be available at 5 p.m. When I'm talking NJPW and night 1 and night 2, because I've got a lot to say about Peter Tahani versus Mike Speedball Bailey. Wow, for one, and I'll tell you the rest of it a little bit later. It was actually Orsi who actually came out and made the save after Tahani got jumped by Lawrence Roman, and she tried to come out and help her fellow countryman, but Robert Dreisker came out and put her down, which was very deceitful and heelish. How dare he? And great heat for the crowd, great little popping moment for the crowd as well. And yeah, a great match. Another great Peter Tahani back. Up next, yes, it was time for the Pretty Bastards to reunite. Some Maggot and Uhura, Prince Uhura, Sexy Uhura, and any other name. It was a excellent match against the Frenchadors, who are Senza Volto and Igil Blanc, coming out of France, luchador pairing, hence the name, the Frenchadors. Another excellent tag team match. I'm going to be saying this so often today. It's just another excellent tag team match because, again, Igil Blanc is a phenomenal superstar. Young, he's still under 25, and he is a phenomenal athlete. He's quite tall, but he uses that size well. You got Senza Volto, who's a little bit stockier, and obviously still just as athletic. I would love to see the Frenchadors versus Boisterous Behavior, Leon Slater, and Man Like the Reese, because I think they would absolutely smash it out the park. Now, once you North Wrestling, because Boisterous Behavior are your tag team champions, and you'll find out who are the current WxW tag team champions in part 2. Eventually, it was a win for the Pretty Bastards, but whilst being interviewed, I will have to watch this back to find out exactly what's being said, but you can tell there's some sort of misunderstanding. There's something that's not quite right with Uhura and Maggot. So, interesting developments, and you'll have to see what I have to say about their match in night 2. But a great win for the Pretty Bastards. It's awesome to see them back. The fans loved having them back, and they put on one hell of a match. Again, people were on their feet applauding, and deservedly so. We got another singles match, and this kind of closed out the first half of the show, and it was Jörn Simmons versus Vincent Heisenberg. I think he should just drop being Vincent Heisenberg and just be Heisenberg, because I think one name giving that Gunther feel or that Walter feel, just Heisenberg, I think would really establish him. Massive. These guys went to hell and back in a hard-hitting, beefy street fight. There were chairs, there were kendo sticks, there were many other variety of objects. They were on the floor, on the stage, in the ring, overall. But it was a great big win for Heisenberg, who stood tall at the end, with Jörn Simmons defeated after being choked out in a camel clutch using the kendo stick around his neck. So very good. Very, of course, Heisenberg, Jörn Simmons did not tap out. He did not tap out. Big Jörn did not. Massive Jörn does not tap. But he did pass out. It was an excellent match. Okay. Then the second half kicks off. It starts off with it went from a very violent street fight to Violence is Forever. Kevin Q and Dominic Greeny. This is the first time I've ever really got a chance to see these two guys, and they were taking on the current WxW tag team champions, Michael Shecklenberg and Nikita Charisma. and this was really good. Again, these guys, especially Violent by Design, they hit hard, they slam hard, they just beat the crap out of you. Violence is Forever is not just a moniker; it is just a way of life for these two, and they deserve that Violence is Forever moniker. The tag team champions Rod and Flot, they did give a good accounting for themselves in this match, but it just wasn't to be. So it ended up being Violence is Forever coming away with the victory. It was a fantastic match overall, and yeah, I loved it. Loved every minute of it. Then, oh, by the way, pretty much everybody was standing on their feet for this one. Then came Abe, Fuminori Abe and Shigehiro Irie as a tag team of Irie and Abe, with the crowd chanting, Abe and Irie, Abe and Irie. Because there was lots of British people there at this show, and that was fantastic. I got to meet so many great British wrestling fans over actually out in there. We all looked looked out for each other. Some few of them showed me how to download my tickets, which I hadn't done yet. When there was a break between the two shows, we went and had dinner with them over at a nice sports bar. So it was it was great meeting all these people from the UK over in Germany. But as I say, Abe and Irie, they got into an incredible match with Robert Dreisker and Icarus. Of course, Icarus' normal tag team partner is Dover as the Hungarian Arrows, and but unfortunately, Dover is currently injured. But Dreisker and Icarus absolutely killed it. You wouldn't notice that they weren't a proper regular tag team in any formal way because they absolutely smashed it. And Abe and Irie, again, two guys that don't really tag teams together in Japan. In fact, if I'm right, if memory serves me correct, they both work for two different Japanese wrestling promotion companies. But they connected really, really well. There was some excellent combinations, excellent double team segments, and I just can't say enough good things about Abe and Irie in this, as well as I can't say enough good things about Dreisker and Icarus as a tag team. And despite Fuminori Abe and Irie being defeated in the match, they got a standing ovation. Everybody on their feet, applauding Abe and Irie. It was excellent. And then it was the main event of night one as Bobby Guns and Speedball Mike Bailey took each other on for the number one contenders spot of night two. So whoever wins this match. Monkey. He didn't come out to Brass Monkey though. I was like, oh, I miss him coming out to Brass Monkey. But typical Mike Bailey, he smashed it out the box as he always does. When we had Eddie on the show, Eddie Dennis. When we had Eddie Dennis on the show, he made the joke that, of course, is the joke around British wrestling promoters of if you want to have a great match on your show, you book Speedball Mike Bailey. And let me tell you something. Today, in this match, this night one main event was absolutely no difference. This is, honest to God, one of the best matches I've seen live. And and that includes the matches between Spike and Cara Noir. Matches I saw against Chris Ridgway and Warren Banks and Chris Ridgway and G Money, which were phenomenal matches. And so many other great matches that I have had the chance to see live. Bobby Guns versus Speedball Mike Bailey is without a doubt in my top 3 matches I've ever had the privilege to see live. And you don't even have to just take my word for it. You can take every word of the WxW fans who were live in that attendance, who were up on their feet one more time for yet another standing ovation. That was 100%, 1000 goddamn percent. Such an incredible match. Bobby Guns is a great wrestler. He's technical. He's hard hitting. He absolutely destroyed Speedball Mike Bailey's leg in this match, and I love the fact that Speedball Mike Bailey continued to sell the leg in both night 2 and night 3. And so I always give props to the performers for taking it over and up to another level. It was just so good. And eventually it was Mike Bailey who did pick up the win. And he will move on to night 2, and he will face current WxW, or he faced current WxW Unified World Champion Tristan Archer. And of course, you won't have long to wait for us to provide details of that show very soon. 5 p.m. We will be back live once more. Sorry, Dan won't be back live, unfortunately, because Dan is going to UBW, Ultimate British Wrestling. Go on, give a quick preview for Ultimate British Wrestling.
I would love to give a quick preview for Ultimate British Wrestling. One of the big things about the show today is that it is not a memorial show, but it's celebrating the career of CJ Carter, who has now retired. So we should be celebrating CJ, which I'm really looking forward to. Seeing that it's going to be really, really good. But I'm going along because Smashing Mike had some words with Adonis Payne when he was on our podcast. And Smashing Mike is going to be taking on Adonis Payne and a tag match, Westside Heat versus Adonis Payne and a fantastic Artemis. And it should be really good. I'm going to go along and I'm going to enjoy the show.
Excellent. Oh, sorry. My final roundup, my count.
Yes.
It would definitely be 100% 4.5 sugars.
4.5.
Night 1 of the World Tag Team Festival absolutely smashed it out the park, and I can't. There were so many great performances throughout the show itself. So many incredible matches, be them single matches, be them tag team matches. Just so many people really put so much effort into the matches themselves, and for this reason alone, I have to give them the score I'm giving it. I have to. There is no way I could give it any less. I honestly, my overall thoughts on everything that happened over the whole weekend would be British Wrestling Promotions need to step it up again.
I now have the full lineup for UBW this afternoon.
What's that?
I got the lineup for UBW this afternoon.
Oh,
just go through it quickly. The brilliant new standout guy, Harrison Leon versus Tony Sin. Memes versus Rain Leverkusen. Jackson Hart versus Ricky Calver. Josh Spicer versus Joshua King for the Young Lions Championship. Westside Heat versus the Oddity of the Tag Team Championships. And Mr. Charles Crowley versus Truman Roswell for the UBW Heavyweight title.
Oh, there you go. Sounds like a fantastic show. I hope you enjoyed this brief reviews of the WxW Night 1 of the World Tag Team Festival, as well as the all women's show, Femme Fatale. And of course, our big daddy down there, his review of One Pro Wrestling's new twist of fate. Throughout the weekend, there were some great matches on both shows. Even Dan said it, although there were some things that led for his, there were still great shows available in 1PW. That is available now on repeat pay-per-view, available on Fight TV. As I just mentioned, Femme Fatale is already up on WxW now. Night 1 of WxW now, of the World Tag Team Festival will be available as of tonight, I believe, from 8 p.m. Central European time, so that's 9 p.m. in the UK. Cannot say anything, go out of your way to watch both of these shows. I believe there is no doubt that you would absolutely not regret tuning in and seeing these matches. So get yourself over and check them out as soon as possible. As I say, they will be available on the WWE Network. We'll be back, as I say, at 5 p.m. where I'll be providing my full roundup of Night 1 and Night 2. So check that out. I'll be being joined by Mark O'Brien and Kieran. So definitely go check that out. Dan, I really hope you have a great show. And I'm just letting our producer know that we are about ready to wrap up this show as I say, we will definitely be back at 5 p.m.
Thank you, Andy, and thank you very much to the amazing production done today by Jameis, who we really love and appreciate.
Indeed. Do you like the little banner I made? I literally put this together in like 10 minutes earlier, just before. I need to make one quickly.
It works for me.
Excellent. So with that said, I'm just waiting for Jameis to log us off now. I tell you what, why don't you get yourself ready for the thing, and I will riff for another 2 minutes.